Westminster is what everybody should be trying to be. A wonderful academic institution with a wonderful sports program. Kids learning every time they turn around, no matter where they are.
The history of success here is immense.
Each generation of athlete that comes through here feels the pressure of that winning legacy.
All the coaches and the players that put on the uniform here know what they represent.
This is an ultra competitive state. Westminster walks this unbelievably hard tightrope of academic excellence and athletic results.
75% of the Westminster kids play a sport.
There is a feeling that you get when you come onto this campus and see these buildings, the way that campus is maintained, that says Westminster, wants to do things the right way.
We have coaches that understand how to develop talent, and we have a culture where we want to be intelligent athletes. That leads to over 300 state championships.
To have a good school, you need, first of all, you need a really good administration that's going to support the school and everything that the school is doing. Westminster has that. The very first headmaster here decided he was going to build the school, and he was going to get the brightest kids that he could out of the Atlanta area, get them on the same campus, and then see how far they could take those kids. And so that's what they've been doing from day one. It started off with teaching Christian values, and he also thought athletics was an educational experimentation area. It was where you learn life's lessons. Most of the kids come from in the area. They come from this community, the surrounding community within a few miles.
Westminster draws students who want to be the best, who want to excel at whatever it is.
I asked my mother in 7th grade, why did you decide to send me here? And she said, it's not about just the education. She said, it's about the environment for success. The environment of expected success is why we're sending you there.
The reason I still always pick Westminster, though, is because it's not only about the sports. It's going to let your child excel both as an athlete and as a student.
My athletic coaches were phenomenal. I still keep in touch with some today, and they've been great mentors and role models in my life.
I learned here at Westminster how to push myself and how to set goals and work really hard, and how to also have fun doing that.
Westminster is a fantastic school with excellent facilities.
We want to set the trend. We want to be the school that everybody looks to and says, that's the way things should be done.
The kids that go to school here are extremely coachable. The egos are left at the door.
Westminster pulls together kids from all over the city that are driven, are ambitious, and they're training us to be leaders, to be leaders and to find your passion and excel in it.
So it prepares, people for everything here. These kids work so hard in the classroom, and then they work really hard on the athletic field.
The children here, the students here, strive for excellence in what they do, and that's filters to athletics, and I think that's why our athletic program is what it is.
When you have an athletic reputation like that, kids come to you. You know what I'm saying? Families come to you.
In 2013, we won 4 state championships in one day. We won both soccers up at West Georgia College, and we won both lacrosse championships here on campus.
One of my greatest performance memories is that we won state in volleyball when I was a junior. We had a really, really tight team that year. I think there were probably like 6 to 8 seniors and like 6 to 8 juniors. We beat our biggest competitor, and it was a really big, lots of people were here. There was lots of heckling, lots of people were involved, the community was involved, and it was a great match.
Coach Romberg's state championship was quite memorable.
We finished 6-4 in the regular season. Well, we get to the state championship game, and again, we haven't beat Blessed Trinity in 5 years.
We were down 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter and ended up winning in overtime.
It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. I mean, you can't make it up. I mean, it's just all the stars aligned that night. That was probably one of the most unbelievable games I've ever been a part of.
So I definitely have wonderful memories that I think about often from teammates. Loved my coach, Coach Dave Drake. He stayed on for a long time after my tenure, so coming back and seeing him coach was great. And then, some of my memories, my senior year, we were undefeated and we were ranked 3rd in the state. But I still remember when our ranking went up so high. Because, this was when there were only 4 classifications. So we were 3A out of 4As. That year when we were 19-0, we were beating those teams. And it felt so good. And so having it come together and be so good and get ranked high in the state was really fun. And I have a lot of good memories of that.
On track and field, I was an anchor leg of the 4x1 team. I also ran a 200-meter dash, and when coach wanted me to, I ran the 400 meters. We broke the school record in the 4x1 my sophomore year, and it just kept getting lower and lower and lower and lower. But the thing that stuck out to me is when we actually won a state championship, because that was one of my goals as a Westminster Wildcat, to win a state championship somewhere. And I'll never forget, we won that state championship in that particular event, finishing the top 3 in the state. And that was kind of a breakthrough moment for Westminster track.
By far, the biggest highlight was being state championships during my senior year. Well, it was mid-December when we won our state championship in 1978, class of 1979. We had a fantastic team. Classmates and teammates are still real good friends of mine to this day. We still hang out together.
Westminster's always had a really great balance. In 2013, it was chosen by Max Preps as for the Max Prep Cup, which is the best athletic program in the United States. 3 of the Westminster coaches are in the Georgia Athletic Coaches Hall of Fame. No, 4 now are in there. Bob Ward he's in the AD Hall of Fame. I even slipped in there myself, thanks to the good program he set up before I got here.
So you drive on the campus, and we have 180 acres here, and you can't help but be impressed by the buildings. And so I think that's your first impression. I would say over time, we've invested mostly in people, and then secondly, in facilities. And I truly believe in that. And I will always take great people and great coaches over great facilities. And we've been very fortunate to be able to develop great coaches, have great coaches, and then support that with facilities.
So to compare Westminster facilities from my era to the present era is fun and very different. A lot of us used to work out in the gym, in the weight room, and it was usually like 85 degrees, and we were sweating and gross, but it worked, and we had great teacher coaches that were pushing us in the weight room at that time. And now it's a gigantic state-of-the-art weight room.
I feel like over the years how we've evolved, I feel like Westminster have been, just on my side, have been so supportive of our needs and the care of our athletes. How can we be better? How can we take care of them better? And how can we make things safe for them? So there's not too many schools that will say, we have 4 certified athletic trainers, we have 2 strength and conditioning coaches, and we have a sports psychologist along in their staff, and we also have a PT working relationship here at our school. So I feel very fortunate that with all those pieces in place, we can provide the best care.
I do think with some of the things we've done around, whether it's sports psychology, nutrition, strength and conditioning, sports medicine, concussion protocols, have been pretty out there. And that other schools can start to take a look at that and say, hey, we ought to think about doing that.
Along the way, we have a fantastic strength conditioning program, because if we see certain injuries that are happening on the field or court or whatever, I can go to our strength conditioning, hey, this is what we're seeing. Is there any way we can kind of modify or kind of really hit this area hard for strengthening or some more flexibility to kind of help with that? So that's another piece of prevention. We also have Sam Booth. He is also a counselor here, but after school he is sports psychologist. Here in Georgia they call it a mental performance coach. He's been fantastic. To be successful, everything has to come together. It's not just one person that makes it, it's a team that makes it. And I feel like with the connection here and the people that we have connected outside of Westminster makes this makes my job very special.
If I had to nail one trait on why we've been so successful for so long, it is very simple. Coaches, staff, trainers, they genuinely care about the actual individual.
The football program uses the word family as part of their mantra, and I think that's Jerry Romberg, the head coach's idea, and he's been using it for years. And so it is just that everybody is a teammate and everybody is treated as family.
I mean, I think there's certain people here that make a real investment in the students and the athletes, and they have an opportunity to make an impact on teenagers that will stay with them their whole lives potentially. So
The relationships that you build. And that's the most memorable thing for me is leaving here whenever I retire, that's what I'm going to take.
Athletics allows the human body and the human mind to push itself beyond its limitations. And if you look at people who are successful in life, eventually they too have to do that. These concepts are universal. It's just that if you play sports, you get to deal with it at a young age and you get to take those life lessons and continue to apply it.
Across the board, from students to faculty, staff, parents, you have people that really like to challenge each other and really motivated people. And that's a fun environment to be in.
You end up with a baseball coach that goes 25 years, a swim coach that goes 50 years. You end up with people like that, and then you hope to replace them with people that are going to follow in those kind of footsteps.
We have a president who, his well, you know what he's done? He's created a culture here. And I think he's done a wonderful job of making sure everyone is a part of and feels a part of that excellence. It's not a top-down approach. It's very much, we will give you the tools, we will give you the encouragement, and you're a part of this. And he's done that in all aspects of campus life.
It's one thing to expect to be challenged. You should definitely that's one thing you should focus on. But you as an individual, you should want to be challenged because comfort does not allow for growth. That's the first thing. The second thing is be selfless. If the school asks you to do this or that and the other, don't really wonder why. Just try to figure out how you can do it to the best of your ability. Because when you are gifted, where you are smart, whether you're a gifted athlete, a lot of people are going to tell you how great you are. And that's cool, but if you truly want to create a legacy, you have to be selfless when applying those gifts. Westminster allowed me to do all of that, both in the classroom and out the classroom.